Oh, yeah, how's everybody doing today? It's your boy, Airboy, and I'm back with another FanBoyAaron review, and this is the 100th subscriber special. My first third-party figure. Now, I've looked at a few third-party add-on kits before, but never had a full-on third-party figure, mainly because they're a little pricey, and I don't have that many. But thankfully, this guy was somewhat affordable, especially considering the quality, which I will get into. This is the APC Toys, APC-02 Dark Master, which is their take on a Transformers Prime Megatron. And, this figure's, it's something. Let me just take a closer look at the box before we dive into the figure. As you can see, it says Dark Master on the box. Now, they can't legally call it Megatron because, you know, third-party legal reasons. But they do have some very nice artwork there of Megatron. They may call it APC-02, but he's Megatron, so I'm going to call it Megatron. On this side of the box, that same artwork. This side of the box, product shot, top of the box, this is Dark Master, some lovely line art. Bottom, stuff in what I assume to be Japanese. If you are 3 years old, do not touch this box or it will kill you. On the back of the box, more product shots in the vehicle mode, robot mode, transforming fighter with 2 modes and full actions. Sushi roll, I don't know what that says. Moving on. Here we have the APC Dark Master, aka Transformers Prime Megatron. Now, a little info on Megatron. This version of Megatron, the Transformers Prime Megatron, is from the TV series Transformers Prime, which, in my opinion, is the best Transformers series since the G1 cartoon. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. Try to find it, whether it's on DVD or, if you're lucky enough, maybe it's on a streaming service, and watch the full series. It is easily the best Transformers show as far as visuals, writing, and voice acting. Especially the voice acting. Like, they got the original G1 voice actor for Megatron, Frank Welker, to come back and reprise his role for this version of the character, and he absolutely nailed it. Anyway, the design for this character takes inspiration from both the G1 cartoon as well as the Michael Bay Universe version of Megatron from the first movie. As you can probably tell from this jet, I'm not going to do comparisons with the movie one Megatron, but trust me, it kind of looks like this. And this is his Cybertronian jet mode. It accurately captures how he looks in the film. Now, before I get any further than that, I'm going to go ahead and get the accessories out of the way, because one of the accessories plays an important role to the vehicle mode. The first accessory we get are 2 of these little arm blades. Now, originally in the show, we only see him use 1, but he doesn't look half bad with 2, and I'm happy to have an extra one. Another accessory you get is the fusion cannon. Now, there is a light-up feature, however, the batteries in mine are dead, and I don't know what size they take, and I didn't bother to look for any. I think it's LR44s, but I am not too sure. And aside from that, from the few reviews of this guy I've already seen, the light feature is a little dim and doesn't work that well. But yeah, this is the fusion cannon, made of transparent plastic, a little bit of silver. Another part you get, one of my favorite accessories, the Dark Star Saber, a powerful weapon fashioned from the very blood of Megatron. This is done in transparent purple plastic with a black hilt. Definitely the sword that someone called the Dark Master would use. And the last accessory you get is a hilt, which allows you to store the Dark Star Saber on Megatron in his robot in his robot mode, but we'll get to this later. Now, as far as I know, there's not really anywhere on the jet mode where you can store any of the weapons except for the blades, or the 2 smaller blades in the fusion cannon. Now, the fusion cannon in the show is stored right here. This is how it looked in the show. And, you know, it works. It's storage for the weapon, and it was accurate to the show, so that works. The only, I don't think there's anywhere to store the Dark Star Saber in the jet mode, but, for these little blades, I find, plugging them in right here over these screws kind of works. It's not super secure, but if you can get them in there, they have just enough friction, they will hold. So yeah, that's storage for those. But me personally, I just set them to the side if they're not being used. Well, here's the fully accurate jet mode as it appeared in the show. And yeah, this is very, very screen accurate to the way it looked in the show. And this guy is covered in a beautiful shade of silver paint with some metallic purple and a little bit of transparent purple as well. And it looks really good. Like, the top of the vehicle looks absolutely flawless. Extremely screen accurate to how he looked in the show. All the little mechanical details, everything is there. The paint is so shiny. Like, the light from my phone, which I'm using as a camera, is reflecting off of it so much, and it's barely doing it any justice. Like, in person, this thing looks like a blessing from God in plastic form. Unfortunately, underneath, it's not as perfect. There's some gaps, and you more or less see how things are going to work out. A little bit of robot kibble here and there, but, you know, if you're displaying your vehicle mode upside down, I think you're pretty much an idiot, okay? This is the proper way to display it if you're going to display it in vehicle mode. Top side up, and that's the angle he looks best at. And you can see the top of his head, but that is accurate to the show. In the show, when he's in vehicle mode, you can see the top of his head. Alright, let's get some comparisons out of the way. Here he is next to the Transformers Prime First Edition Starscream. This might be scale accurate, I don't know. I never really seen them side by side flying in the show. And yeah, the first edition of Starscream, being a deluxe figure, is a little smaller than this Megatron, who's basically a large Voyager class figure. Here he is with the first edition of Optimus Prime. And don't worry, I'll get to this guy soon enough. But yes, here's Megatron next to Optimus Prime. See how that looks? And just how you know how he compares to something a little more recent, here he is next to the Transformers Siege Deluxe Class Barricade. Yeah, that don't look half bad. I wish Barricade was in the Transformers Prime show. Apparently there were ideas to have him included, but it never happened. Oops. Now, apparently, originally I thought this guy was just a modified version of the Voyager class mold, which I used to own. I don't have anymore, unfortunately, otherwise I would have done a comparison. But apparently the design is more heavily influenced in the deluxe class version of the TF Prime Megatron that came out beforehand. I do not have that version either, and I don't know much about it. That's just what I was told, that the design was mostly based on that version of the toy. Anyway, let's go ahead and transform this guy real quick. Just want to remove the camera, or the fusion cannon. The transformation is a little involved, I will let you know, and you do want to take your time with it. Quality-wise, the plastic feels strong, but you don't want to take too many chances, especially with this beautiful silver paint. I do not want to do anything that risks scratching it. Where you want to start is you want to come back here, this back leg, where everything is tabbed in super securely. What you want to do is you want to try to separate the leg from the tabs in there and up here. It can take a little bit of effort, but it is doable. Come on. Oh wait, you also want to untab that wing from that tab there. I'll go ahead and do the other one. It might make it easier, actually. There we go. Same thing on the other side. Just untab everything. There we go. Then we come under here. I'm going to go ahead and raise the camera a little bit. Alright, swing the legs out, bring them down a little bit. And what you want to do is you want to take the toes, take the heel, fold it back, take the front toes, fold them forward. Same thing on the other side. And after that, you want to take these transparent purple pieces, fold them in. Make sure they're angled right so they actually do. Then you just want to rotate everything around. The trick is trying to line up everything as you're folding these in because it can be a little tricky. There we go. There we go, that's one leg. Come around here, do the same thing on the other side, just fold it in, and I just try to kind of fold it in and rotate it at the same time. Trying to make sure the bottom swings up a little quickly. Again, it's a little tricky to do due to how tight it is. And you want to take your time with it if you want to avoid scratching the paint or damaging the figure. Like, so far it handles well. I'm more worried about scratching the paint than breaking anything. Alright, there we go. And that's the legs all done. So we can focus up here on the upper body. What you want to do, you want to take these pieces, just kind of move them out of the way. You come up here, take the back part here, and fold it down. Bring them out and out of the way. Separate the arms. You'll notice they tabbed in super securely right there. Bring them out. One click. Not really a click, more of a swoop. Really, this part of the transformation is just moving things out of the way. After that, what you want to do is you want to take this piece, try to pull it up. There we go. And from here, we can take this part here, bring it up. It's on a double hinge. Just press it up all the way on both hinges. Take this crotch, press it flush against that. There we go. And from here, what do we want to do? We want to take this part, rotate it around. You notice inside, it's a little tricky to see, but there is a double hinge. What you want to do is you want to bring it up. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, there's like a little tab in there. You want to bring this panel up and over that. It can be a little tricky to do. See a little tab right there? You want to bring this panel up and over that on the double hinge. After that, you just straighten out the shoulders. Bring up these two chest parts. Well, make sure the arms are out of the way. Most of the transformation is making sure things are out of the way for other things. Well, you bring up these two chest pieces. There are tabs inside, which will plug into those holes right there. There we go. You just bring this whole assembly on his back down, and it should tab in nice and securely. Alright, and I think we got it. Do we have it? Now it's just a matter of getting everything orientated. And there we go. There is the APC Toys Dark Master, aka Transformers Prime Megatron, in his robot mode, and I gotta say, it is very, very good. Like, visually, this guy is absolutely stunning. Like, I cannot give this figure enough praise. My phone camera is not doing it any justice at all. And for the most part, the transformation is fairly clean. He does have just a little bit of a backpack, but, you know, I have seen way worse. Like, the kibble is barely there. Oh, one little thing I forgot. You want to bring these little spikes out. Just one little minor step in the transformation I forgot. There we go. Now he's done. Now let's go ahead and bring him up close to the camera. He is a tall figure. Like, he's not the biggest figure I have, but he's a decent size. Let's go ahead and bring him in close here so we can take a look at that beautiful head sculpt. Very screen accurate to the show. They even went as far as to paint the little white color in his eyes, which he had in the show. Like, that little bit of detail is, like, incredible. Like, the fact they were willing to go this far for the paint work, like, that is just great. My only real issue with the figure is that this back piece doesn't really lock into place anywhere. It just rests there. I mean, it's not, like, frustratingly loose, but you bump it, it's going to look crooked. But, you know, minor nitpick. As you can see, there's lots of nice detail all throughout this figure. The silver and the metallic purple just blends together absolutely beautifully. Like, I love how this guy looks. It has a real, what Jobby the Hong says it, a Roger Rabbit effect. Yeah, what Jobby the Hong puts it as, a Roger Rabbit effect. It looks like this guy jumped right out of my TV as I was watching the show. Which, again, if you haven't seen it yet, treat yourself. Good show. Now, let's talk about his accessory. Well, actually, let's get into posability first. The head is on a ball joint, but due to the way it is shaped, it is just a wee bit limited. You can look left that far, right that far. You can't really look up. You can look down that far. The shoulders can rotate. You can move up on a hinge there and there as well. You can move that spike in and out if you need to. There is bicep rotation, a double jointed elbow, which allows a full bend, which I love. There is wrist articulation, but due to the way his forearms are molded, they are limited. They only go about that far in either direction. Nothing at the waist due to the way he transforms, but he does have a leg that can kick about that high, not that far back. You can do the full splits. He does have rotation right below the knee. About a 90-degree knee bend, maybe just barely under. The feet can move up and down. And he has about 2 clicks worth of ankle tilt. Not a lot, but it is something, and that something is something that the original version of the toy, Voyager class and Deluxe class, I believe, did not have. So even if it's just the slightest amount of ankle tilt, it's something that is greatly appreciated. Really helps improve the posability. Now, I used to own the original version of the Voyager class Megatron, and compared to this thing, that thing is absolute garbage, and it was actually a decent figure. This thing, however, is a borderline godsend. One thing I'd like to point out, he does not come with a Decepticon logo. Due to the fact he's a third-party figure, he does not have that logo on his chest. That is a sticker I put there. So if you want him to have his classic Decepticon logo, you have to find yourself some logo stickers and slap one on. Alright, let's talk about his accessories again. The fusion cannon. And there are 2 ways you can hold this. You can flip this down, revealing a 5mm peg, which he can hold in his hand, but we all know Megatron wields this cannon on his arm. And the way that works, there's a slot here, that little peg right there, and there's a slot-shaped peg there, and a little peg hole there. That all just plugs in to his arm, just like that, beautifully. And the blades, they work fairly similarly. Little ports on either wrist. They just plug in like that. And that's not a bad look, but as we all know, in the movie, Megatron has both his weapons on the same arm. Or in the TV show, Megatron has both his weapons on the same arm. And that looks awesome. Very intimidating. I absolutely love wrist-mounted weapons, and Megatrons from Transformers Prime were easily some of the best. And the Dark Star Saber, the way he holds that is you take the bottom piece here, remove it, you slide it into his hand, plug the little piece back in, and now you have Megatron wielding the Dark Star Saber. And that is pretty cool. And of course, if you don't want him holding it, you do get this little piece here, which via friction just plugs into this hole back here. It's a little tricky to get in there, but it is doable. There we go. Just take the sword, plug it in, and now Megatron is carrying his mighty blade on his back. And that looks awesome. Oop, got to put that back. There we go. Not bad at all. So yeah, there's a lot of display and playability in this guy. They could not have done a better job with this. Alright, let's get to the size comparisons. I gotta move him back. He is a tall boy. Focus. Focus. There we go. Alright, comparisons. Here he is next to the Transformers Prime First Edition Starscream. And yeah, I think that scale, I think the scaling here is fairly accurate. Because in the show, Megatron was substantially taller than Starscream. Here he is with the First Edition Voyager class Optimus Prime. Also from Transformers Prime. And again, don't worry, I will get to him soon enough. And I think this scale works out as well. I mean, Megatron's obviously a bit taller, but that's the way it usually is in most Transformers continuities. Megatron has always been a little taller than Optimus. And for something a little more recent, here he is next to the Transformers Siege Deluxe class Barricade. Again, I wish Barricade made it in the Transformers Prime TV show. Would have been nice if Megatron had at least one more loyal Decepticon. Keeping his ranks in line was one of the problems he had in the show. So, yeah, this has been the APC Toys APC-02 Dark Master, a.k.a. the Transformers Prime Megatron, and he is more or less a small leader class / large Voyager class scale. He scales well with most of your Transformers Prime figures. And let's see, as he stands, he is approximately, let's see, from head to foot, so over 7.5 inches. And at the time of release, he's going for $50 to $60, I believe. Now, is he worth that price, and is he worth picking up? Hell yes to both answers. I mean, $50 bucks may seem like much at first, but considering what you're getting out of that, it is well worth it. I mean, this guy is easily one of, if not the best Megatron figure I have ever had. He looks amazing, the paintwork is beautiful, the details are great, he is extremely accurate to the show, his posability is decent, you get a buttload of accessories, even an extra one, and just everything about this figure is great. My only real nitpick is I wish he had just a little more ankle tilt, and that this piece on his back was a little more secure. But honestly, that's nothing a little floor polish can't fix. Other than that, this figure is perfect in just about every way, and I would highly recommend grabbing him. I found mine on eBay. You could try Amazon and other shopping sites as well. There's a few places you can hunt this guy down, but keep in mind, if you get him, you're also going to need a Decepticon logo sticker if you want him to have that. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, leave a nice comment, and enjoy the rest of your day. And this was the part 2 of my 100 subscriber special, and I can't thank you all enough so much for following me and watching my content. Like, 100 subscribers these days, it's a tiny milestone, but it is a milestone nonetheless, and one I would not have reached were it not for you. So thanks again so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye-bye.